Hello and welcome back to X-Plane 11. Thank you very much for joining me in this video, and welcome to part 2 of the review for the PA-38 Tomahawk by JustFlight. Now, if you haven't seen the last video, I do highly recommend you go see the last video, because we took a look at the aircraft, took a look at some of the modelling, we took a look at the texturing, we took a look at basically everything about the aircraft that we can visibly see, as well as talked about the aircraft features, the price, the system specifications or the system requirements that you need, a couple of bugs that I happened to find, and then we took a cockpit tour, familiarizing ourselves with everything that's in this aircraft. In this video I'm going to be starting the aircraft up, taking it off, getting ourselves around on a circuit. I'll also tune in a VOR, see how that works, and then we'll bring it in back for a landing here at Cranfield Airport, Echo Golf Tango Charlie, and then I'll give you my final impressions or my final thoughts on what I think of this aircraft. So make sure you stay tuned for that, and like I said, if you haven't seen the first part, I do recommend you go and see that first part before watching this one. Right, before I do continue, I do apologise for a bit of a stuffy nose. I realised that I had that in the last video. I can't seem to shake this, but I will try to sound as clear as I possibly can. I might need to deepen my voice a bit to try and do that, but oh well, we'll see what I can do. A couple of things I did notice between episodes or between videos. If I press that, it changes that from source of a placard, which gives us some information like that, to the Garmin GNS 530. Now, am I going to use that today? No, probably not. So I'm going to just switch that off. But it's nice to know that that is actually available. I'm also going to quickly take a look at my fuel levels. I'm not sure if that's enough. I'm going to say that is enough for us because, well, we're only doing a circuit, so 45 pounds of fuel in each tank should be more than enough. Yeah. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up the checklist and get on with it. Now, there seems to be a little bit of a glitch on this checklist. I'm not sure what's happened with this checklist here, but it looks like someone's tried to turn a page and it's sort of gone wrong. I mean, I wish I could zoom. In fact, I guess I can. You just see there, even at the bottom, there's a couple of oddities with this, which is rather odd. Well, of course, oddity is odd. Anyway, I'm going to make this checklist a lot smaller, and I'm going to follow it through just as we would. Right. Parking brake is set. Avionics are off. I'm not going to tick these. You can tick these and turn them green, but I'm not going to do that. Mixture is idle cutoff done. MOS switch is on for the battery. There we go. Lovely. Why are these avionics on? I thought the avionics were off. Wait a minute. How am I supposed to be able to tell whether they're off or not? There we go. They were on. How do I switch this one off? Off. Apparently that doesn't go on or off. Interesting. Ah, yeah, look, that is supposed to be green. That's really interesting to see. Anyway, MOS switch is on. Alternator warning light is checked. Yep, MOS switch can now go back off. Check operation, flaps check operation. Yeah, we'll check that. In fact, I should probably check my fuel quantity. Half a tank, right, that's fine. Check operation of the flaps. I can have a look outside. Yep, they work. Very, very classic style flaps. Nice noises as well. Very, very nice on the noise. That's all been removed. Oil has been checked. Yeah, levels have been checked. Propeller checked. We've checked all of these things right here. We're just going to start the engine. Look at that. We just go straight to an engine start. That's how easy this is. Throttle, 1/4 inch open. MOS switch on there. When does the alternator come on? Do we just put both on? I'm assuming we put both on now. Battery alternator, that makes sense to me. Magnetos to... well, it should be there. That doesn't sound perfect. We're going to put this fuel pump to on. Oh, that's a nice, completely different sounding fuel pump. I like that. Mixture goes to for rich. Propeller is clear. Yes, it is. Starter can now be engaged. Ooh, that's interesting. I'm struggling to start this engine. Because I haven't selected any fuel. That would help. Well done, me. That's clever. It didn't actually tell me to do that, and I just wasn't looking. That's really clever. Throttles to about 800 RPM, which is about there. There we go. Oil pressure, check. Yep, it's coming up. Fuel pressure is coming up. Oil temperature's quite low. Got power. What I'm going to do now is I am going to ensure that the auto switch is set up for the... there we go, fuel switch. Automatic fuel switch is good. That was clever. Avionics can now go on. Oops. Right, let's switch all these avionics on. On. We're going to go VFR, so we're going to be squawking... what do we squawk with VFR in this country? I keep forgetting. 1200, isn't it? No, we can just squawk 7,000. Yeah, we just squawked 7,000. That was America. Sure, we just squawked 7,000 over here. There we go. Okay, so we've done that. So we're completely on there. We're in VFR. There we go. 1200. 12-hour clock. That's nice. Hold on. Do these things work? They do. I like that. Can I? How do I change it to a 24-hour clock? Oh, that's nice. I like that. That's really cool. Okay, so I could literally start. So I could do that, and I could actually give ourselves a flight time. I'm going to tune in. Why am I going to tune this in? Hold on. Oops. We want 300. We're going to go for 300 inbound. And we want to tune in 11765, I guess. Would be the one I want to tune in. I'm just gonna double check that. I'll try and tune in 11765. So I'll press nav. There we go. It's currently on 1175. I think it's 65. Or is it just 5? Actually, no, it's 1175. There we go. Perfect. Alright. We are going to be... I suppose we want the opposite way, so we'll go down to... right the way around. 120. There we go. Perfect, because we're taking off 2-1. We're going to fly up, and then... yeah, we'll sort that out. Alright. Let's continue on. We're not going to be taxiing around because we've already taxied. I suppose I could just see what's going to happen if I just release the brakes. Nice and easy. That's fairly easy to taxi, great. I'm going to switch on my nav and panel lights all the way. Radio lights are apparently on. Oh yeah, so they are. Okay, that's quite nice now. Now that that's vibrating, that's actually quite nice. I'm going to switch on my landing lights, anti-collision light, pitot heat can go on. Let's take a look outside the aircraft, take a listen to it as well. Very, very, very low-powered aircraft, you can hear it. That's actually really nice. I love this LED lights though that they've got. You can just tell those are LEDs. Actually, they're not LEDs, they're strobes, but they are of LED. The pattern's a strobe. Lights and LED. There's no rotating beacon on this. Thought there might be one at the top. You just check that. Everything's good. That's good. That's good. Super. Steering has been checked. Let's do the magneto checks here. Parking brakes are up. We're going to crank up the throttle. Wow, you really have to push this aircraft. And we're going to do the check. That's good. That's good. This is interesting. That was very interesting, that was. That was very, very interesting. Vacuum pressure is actually low. Wait, does it go? Yeah, it goes up once we're there. That's fine. Alright, we're fine on that. Not a problem. Carburetor heat checks, we don't need that. Fuel pump can go off at the moment. Fuel pressure is good. And the throttle has been retarded all the way. It's fine. We don't want to keep it down like that. We're going to... It's not good for the engine to keep it that low. Right, mod switch is on. Yeah, we know that. That's fine. That's fine. Fuel pump goes back on now. Carburetor heat is off. So that's right there. I think that's my Is that my carburetor heat? That one. That's my carburetor heat. That's fine. That's off. Absolutely fine. Right, mixtures have been set. Flaps have been set. Controls are free. Door is latched. I assume that's the door latch then. And we should be good for a takeoff. We're looking to take off. Well, it says apparently only 53 knots is our takeoff speed. Climb at 67. Interesting. Very interesting. Alright, let's make sure our QNH is good. We're going to leave it full rich, full power for climbing. Apparently it's supposed to climb at 70 knots. Alright, well that's how we're going to go. And then we're just going to, I suppose, take it as it comes. Time to get in the air. So get ourselves comfortable here. In a way we can quite nicely see the aircraft and see everything. Slightly further back. That works. That works nicely for me. Right. Why have I got a brake jammed on? Hello. What have I got jammed on? Okay, now here we go. That was a bit odd. Right, it's going from max power. Up we go. Okay. Well, this is an interesting aircraft. We're up. We're definitely up. No autopilot on this aircraft, so we're going to be flying everything absolutely, completely manually. Oh, this is interesting. This is. We'll go for flaps in now, and you just see the nose just immediately raise up. I suppose those flaps have to come in a lot smoother than we can in X-Plane if you don't have a flap lever, an analog flap lever or anything like that. I'm also here, I'll see I've got some issues with my microphone. Excuse me a moment while I try to fix those. Right, that should have helped a little bit. Okay, I'm going to climb up to about 2,000 feet, and then we'll see what we've got. I suppose I should really start this and... Oops. Does that work? It does work. I mean, I've started it a little bit late, but it does work. But we should be flying some 8 miles out before turning in and then doing our circuit. So at about 60 knots, it should take us 10 minutes to do 10 nautical miles. Should take us about 8 minutes, but we are going to be going a lot faster. Yeah, things in this aircraft are a bit loud and crackly, I have to admit. Oh, going through a little bit of haze, it seems. That's nice. Alright, we're coming up on 2,000 feet, so I'm going to start trimming the nose down slowly, putting the aircraft into a more stable setup. This aircraft, it feels like you've got to be really quite smooth with the aircraft. You can't really push it too hard or anything like that. We are accelerating quite nicely now, which is what I want. I do want us to accelerate. So we'll keep trimming down as we accelerate. There we go. Keeping ourselves around the 2,000 foot mark. And then we'll start bringing the... Come on. That's it. Not quite there. There we go. 100 knots, and I think that's probably the best we've got. So I'm going to bring the power back a little bit, and we'll just see if we can get onto our radial. In fact, you can see it's coming up on us now. We're a little bit away, but you can see the VOR needle is moving quite steadily, which is awesome. So that does work. That's definitely working for us. Thoughts on the aircraft as I'm flying it? It's a very easy aircraft to fly, but it feels very basic. It is a very, very basic aircraft. For what it is, and for what it's designed to do, it's very good. JustFlight have done a really good job on it. I am doing a bit more static than I thought I should though. And this wind sounds like it's roaring a bit, and it's a bit staticky, it's a bit clipped. I had the same issue with, was it something else? Was it the keys, the turn of the keys? It sounded like they were clipping just a little. So there is that. Now, overall, it's not terrible. Alright, let's try a nice turn in this. See what the turn's like. Okay. Not too bad. I'm in a 25 degree bank. The aircraft judders a little bit more. It's not as smooth as I would want it to be. Definitely not as smooth as I would want it to be. Does judder about a bit. Does have a tendency to drop the nose faster than I would expect. It seems okay until you get... It seems alright until you get to about the 30 degree. Then it really does start playing up on you. The aircraft does feel like you're pushing it quite a bit all the time. Even right now, it feels like I am genuinely pushing the aircraft to try and get it going, and try and get it, give me any semblance of speed. At the moment, we're doing 90 knots, and it's not doing great, is it? So look out the window, back towards where we came. It's out that way. We will essentially. Oh, I'm dropping. I can feel myself descending there. We will turn around, I think, once we get over this or past this wind turbine. We'll do a turn around. Just take a quick look outside. I think we can do that. There's the aircraft. It's interesting. This is an interesting aircraft, that's for sure. I'll try and get a decent shot of the aircraft in some form for a screenshot. There you go. I can potentially back and do or something. Let's go inside before I lose it. That's not too bad. Whilst I was looking out, I was still flying the aircraft. Managed to keep it pretty much in a straight line. Managed to keep the altitude relatively stable. So I guess that shows the stability of the aircraft and the fact that it's not horrendously hard to fly. Let's try another turn. Right, let's try and watch the nose a little bit more this time. And there it goes, just drops away. Definitely drops away there. Oh yeah, definitely. As it goes past that, it just doesn't like it at all. Okay, 030. Had a drop of about 20 feet there. Not great. Other things about this aircraft, really there isn't much to say. It's a very bog standard aircraft. There's nothing special about the aircraft. It's been made extremely well. It definitely, I will admit, it's definitely not my favourite. This is not my favourite aircraft. This isn't an aircraft I would fly often. I certainly would not fly this aircraft often. With that being said, for circuits, and I think maybe to learn how to fly, this isn't bad. It's simple. It's very simple, very basic. I mean, it doesn't even have a variable pitch propeller. It's just stuck. So you can't even change the prop. So that just shows how simple, just how simple this aircraft is. I'm flying it with, admittedly, with minimal concentration. So that's another plus point for it. I am flying with, when I'm turning the aircraft, yeah, I do have to be a little bit careful, but I'm flying it with minimal concentration. And you can see I'm going slightly up, slightly down, but nothing too major. Really nothing too major at all. I'm holding the flight controls slightly to the right, because the aircraft does have a tendency, as most single props do, to pull to the left. There's the airfield right there, as we're coming up on it. We'll be landing back at Cranfield very, very shortly. There it is. So you can see we haven't done a large circuit or a long circuit at all. The aircraft's quite happy to be sitting here at about 90 knots as well. I felt like trying to push it to 100, it was not too happy. But it seems to be okay at about 90 knots. It seems to be fairly happy at 90 knots. And I've got it at 2300, 2400 RPM. It isn't exactly the greatest. I haven't bothered messing around with the mixture or anything at the moment in this aircraft. There really is no point in it. That's not the airport. The airport's over there. I don't know why I was pointing there. There's the airport. There's the runway. I was looking at that and just thinking, that's a bit close to the M1 to be an airport. We certainly went a lot further than that to get to where we are right now. So where should I turn in? That's the next question. I think what I'll do is we will go about 90 knots. We're abeam the airport right now. Yeah, we're coming up abeam the airport or airfield right now. So what I will do is 90 knots. I want to get myself, let's see, do I want to get myself 6 miles? Let's get ourselves about 8 miles away. Let's get ourselves 8 miles away. So 90 knots, how quickly are we going to do 8 miles? Well, we're going to do that in about 5 minutes. Yeah. So we'll keep going for, I think, 4.5 minutes. Yeah, so we'll go until 15 minutes on the flight time. So we'll keep going in this direction until 15 minutes on the flight time. That should, if my calculations are right, give us 8 miles from the middle of the centre of the runway. And then we'll just turn in and then bring ourselves in for a landing. That should be nice and easy. Shouldn't be too difficult. Oh, got a little bit of turbulence. What I'll do is, let's... do that. There's some weird... just brought the mixture down a bit. That's mixture to half. What does that do? The aircraft doesn't tend to particularly like that. Okay, I'll just go back to full mix. Full rich mix. I'll just run the aircraft quite rich. Let's actually switch. We've got DME ADF, we've got the markers. I wonder if those markers do work. I don't think Cranfield has markers, so we can't actually check them. It does say they'll blink. The aircraft's being ballooned about a bit now. It's a light aircraft, so it does get thrown about a little. You can definitely feel the aircraft being thrown about. Like at times like this, now I'm actually manipulating the controls a little bit more. So I can definitely feel the aircraft being thrown about. I'm having to actually push the nose down on this aircraft. Fix up the trim a bit as well. There we go. Let's try minimal pressure on the controls. Nothing too crazy. I don't want to be manhandling the aircraft at all, of course. That doesn't help in any which way. Now 2,000 feet. I think we could cut in closer, but I do want to fly over Bedford here. It's only another 2 minutes of flying. And we should get straight over Bedford in the 2 minutes. We should be past that lake. Well past that lake actually. It's a good aircraft. It is a good aircraft. It's just not my favourite. I find it a bit too slow, perhaps a bit too simple. But, like I said, if you're learning how to fly, it feels good for training. I'm half considering using this for my flight tutorials. I am half considering using this for my flight tutorials that are coming, in a way returning to the channel. Instead of the Piper, but... well, instead of the Piper, this isn't Piper, instead of the Arrow 3. But I do have a feeling that I'll end up using the Arrow 3 regardless. Okay. That's good. Alright, well we've got about 25 seconds before we turn in. And then we're going to have to keep an eye out for the... we'll be on our base leg, so we'll have to keep an eye out for turning onto final. Which is not going to be the easiest. I've lost about 40 feet. Why have I lost 40 feet here? Come on. That's unacceptable. Climb. Whoa. What was that downdraft? I feel like some of the weather effects are a little bit exaggerated in this. There's some exaggeration of weather effects. Turbulence in particular. I know it's something Active Sky are working on. It is a little bit curious, some of these weather effects. Oh, I am now dropping once again. Roll out onto 300. I'm doing some rougher rollouts than I normally would do, just to get a feel for this. See what we've got. Don't know why my fuel pump's still on. Probably should switch it off for now. 300. Now I've got to keep an eye out for the airport. Where is it? It won't be far. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be very interesting. It will not be far from here. Why can I not see it? Okay, well, this is going to be entertaining, to say the least. I cannot see an airport. How am I supposed to fly towards said airport? Interesting. And also, I am drifting off. It really does push to the left heavily. Time to run to Avitab for this. Where's the airport? There it is. I probably should be turning on to the... Probably should be turning for final now. You cannot see it. If anyone can actually see the airport, do point it out to me. Do leave it in the comments box right now if you can actually see the airport. I'm going to just risk it and turn on to final, and then correct from there. And just hope that once I'm looking out the right direction, it should appear. I'm also going to slow myself down. Who's the haze that's just stopping me from being able to see it? Genuinely can... Is that it? I don't know. That's it. There it is. There's the airport. Why is it there? Why was I looking so far back? Alright, well, into a descent we go. Start with a 500 foot per minute rate of descent, see what happens. I'm sure somebody saw that airport. Well, this aircraft descends very quickly. And now we're out of the haze. Now I can see everything a lot clearly. I can see clearly now the haze is gone. I can see all the airports nearby. Gone is that weird fog. It's going to be a... I don't know. Go for flaps. Whoa! Immediate change. Look at that. Suddenly have to put the power back in. Now, I am low. That's absolutely fine though. Absolutely fine to be this low. There we go. Now I'm coming back on glide. Now I'll try... Nope. I don't want to pick up too much speed. Am I going to go for a full flaps landing? Not too sure. I'm not too sure. That ticking noise for the fuel pump is slightly annoying. Right, I'm now full flaps. Here we go. Alright, let's try and go for 70 knots. Let's try and slow it down to 70. And see what we get. I don't know what the landing speed of this aircraft is. What does it say for the landing speed of this aircraft? Trim for 67 knots. Right, so it looks like it wants us 67 knots. I think I can do that. Let's try that. I'm still fairly low, but I'm not. I need to reduce my rate of descent now. I'm about 70 knots at this point in time. Make sure I'm looking forward. Bringing the aircraft down, it's a slow process, very slow process. It's not terrible. I suppose a Warrior would be similar to this, a Piper Warrior. It's not as tedious as perhaps I'm making it out to be. It's smooth coming down. It's really smooth bringing the aircraft down. I've got slight amounts of turbulence. I mean, you saw that over Bedford as well. And you saw the slight amounts of turbulence as I brought the aircraft down. But you can see I'm fairly established here now. Coming in quite nicely, slightly high. See, just minor corrections like that. Drop the power a little bit. The nose a little bit. Oops, not that much. It'll just bring itself back up. Power down, nose down. Oh, now very high. Okay, so the aircraft does tend to have a tendency to float a little. It's an aircraft that does like being in the air. Some aircraft obviously don't particularly like that. Alright. Just float the aircraft across the runway and we'll see what it's like when you land it. Not too bad, actually. I found that landing easier than the Duchess. Admittedly, I was going a little bit more smoothly with this aircraft. But that's not bad. That really was not that bad. Interesting. Okay, so final thoughts on this aircraft. It's a good aircraft if you want to learn how to fly. Simple aircraft. If you want to be flying slow, this is a very good aircraft for slow flight. I mean, literally, you can fly it at 80 knots if you wanted to. It's definitely a very good aircraft for slow flight. Very simple, very easy to learn. Maybe if you're a newbie to more study level aircraft, this is probably one for you. If you're more experienced with aircraft dynamics and flight and things like that, maybe this aircraft isn't quite the aircraft for you. I would then recommend, unless you really want this aircraft, but if you're looking to pick up an aircraft, if you want a single prop, I would recommend the Arrow, the PA-38 Arrow 3. That's a really good one, or Turbo Arrow 3-4. And if you're looking to pick up a twin prop, then I would recommend the Duchess, both by JustFlight as well, but not particularly this aircraft if you're quite experienced. But like I said, if you do just want a slow aircraft, this is pretty good. And if you are learning how to fly and you want an aircraft that's easy to get into, sort of get to grips with, then this is probably another aircraft that's good for you. With that, I'm going to end this video. Link to this aircraft is in the description box below. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more videos on X-Plane 11 as I pass the university. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. Don't forget to support me on Patreon, www.patreon.com/ECGadget. Your support would be massively appreciated, and of course it would help me create more and more videos like this and spend more and more time creating videos, creating better videos, more edited or better edited videos, and so on and so forth. Also, you can find me on social media at ECGadgetLV for both Twitter and Instagram. That's all from me, and I'll see you guys next time in X-Plane 11, where I really don't have a clue what I'm going to be doing. I'll see you guys then.